It was that time of the year again when the rains poured down in torrents after a harsh drought, causing severe floods in the northeastern Transvaal of South Africa, now known as Limpopo Province. Among those affected were Tony and Shirley Joubert, a husband and wife team of wildlife documentary filmmakers and photographers. Like everyone else in the area, Tony and Shirley were busy cleaning their home and clearing debris left behind by the flood. After finishing their tasks indoors, they decided to take a break by sitting on the riverbank in front of their house, where the lawn met the river. As Shirley gazed into the distance, she noticed something remarkable. Her attention was drawn to movement on a sandbag nearby, accompanied by a distinct crunching sound. She immediately alerted her husband, Tony, who, unsure of what to expect, grabbed a baseball bat for precautionary measures. What they encountered next was beyond their wildest imagination. There, stuck on a sandbag, was a tiny newborn hippo calf, appearing helpless and frightened. As Tony and Shirley approached, the calf attempted to rise and flee, clearly distressed by their presence. However, the calf was too exhausted and weak to resist. She had no energy left at all. Recognizing the dire situation, the concerned woman gently picked her up and began to examine her. Ms. Joubert was deeply moved by the sight before her. Upon closer inspection, she noticed that the hippo calf was only a few hours old, as she still had her umbilical cord attached. It became evident that the hippo had been separated from her mother by the floods shortly after birth, leaving the little animal traumatized. With years of experience working with wildlife, Tony and Shirley knew that the calf needed milk urgently. Due to her small size, they couldn't feed her regular milk. Fortunately, Tony's background as a game ranger equipped him with the knowledge to create a substitute similar to colostrum. Without hesitation, the couple sprang into action. They mixed egg yolk cream with full cream cow's milk, creating a formula within minutes. Tony had used this same mixture successfully in the past and hoped for a similar outcome this time. They named the hippo calf Jessica and carefully monitored her progress. Despite being in less than perfect health, Jessica was undoubtedly the smallest hippo they had ever encountered. When they offered her the newly formulated milk, she hesitated at first. However, once she tasted it, she eagerly took the bottle and couldn't seem to get enough of it. Young Jessica quickly proved to be a delightful and determined hippo. She shadowed the couple everywhere and made sure to wake them up when she was hungry. Feeding time always brought her immense joy. Playful by nature, Jessica spent much of her time either engaging with the children or entertaining herself. To everyone's surprise, Jessica formed a close bond with the family dogs. They became inseparable companions, often observing their surroundings together with intense focus. As Jessica continued to grow stronger, so did her connection with the family and their canine friends. Despite the common perception of hippos as powerful and aggressive animals, Jessica exhibited a remarkable gentleness. While she possessed the strength characteristic of her species, she never displayed any signs of hostility towards anyone. Instead, she greeted everyone with kindness and affection. As time passed, Jessica became an integral part of the family, even having her own bedroom in the house. She welcomed affection from humans and cherished cuddles with her human mother, Shirley. Jessica continued to grow larger, requiring more food to sustain herself. Shirley and Tony found it challenging to meet her increasing demands. After training her for life in the wild, they made the difficult decision to let her go. Tearful goodbyes were exchanged as they bid farewell to Jessica, knowing it was for her own good. To their surprise, Jessica returned home a few days later, unable to bear being apart from her family. Delighted to have her back and seeing her determination to stay, Tony, with the assistance of neighbors, dug a canal from the Blight River to provide Jessica with a swimming area and freedom to roam as she pleased. News of the gentle hippo's story quickly spread, turning her into a local sensation. At just 1.5 years old, Jessica made her acting debut in the South African movie Mr. Bones alongside actor Leon Schuster in April 2001. Following her success in the film, she appeared in numerous documentaries. Jessica's journey was far from over. On February 21, 2004, Tony, serving as an honorary game ranger, was called upon to rescue a bull hippo trapped in a concrete reservoir. Without hesitation, he chose to save the distressed animal. Tony devised a sandbag ramp to aid the trapped hippo's escape and left him overnight. Returning the next morning, Tony was elated to find the hippo had successfully climbed out and made his way to the nearby Blight River. It wasn't long before wild hippos paid Jessica a visit at home. While most left by day's end, one remained. The bull Tony had rescued, identified by distinct markings on his left rump. They named him Charlie, and he stayed, forming a close bond with Jessica. Charlie and Jessica became inseparable, spending their days playing and never straying far from each other's side. Under Jessica's influence, Charlie grew tame and even starred alongside his girlfriend in a documentary. They lived together happily for 18 months until Charlie vanished one day, leaving Jessica heartbroken. She rarely ventured far from home until, years later, she began to socialize again and eventually left to live in the wilderness permanently. Despite her independent life, Jessica returns home daily for a drink of Ruber's tea, keeping a connection to her past even as she thrives in her natural habitat. Scientists remain puzzled by Jessica's unique bond with her adopted human family, as such relationships are rare between hippos and humans. Yet, year after year, she faithfully returns home, demonstrating her deep affection for her human companions, who reciprocate her love wholeheartedly. In addition to her strong family ties, Jessica is flourishing in other aspects of her life. Not only does Jessica have a thriving social life with 3 boyfriends, including her favorite, the charming Fred, but she also enjoys exploring and grazing with him. Despite Fred's amiable nature, Jessica often finds herself overcome with shyness in his presence, adding a touch of endearing awkwardness to their relationship. Jessica's fame extends far beyond her local community. She has graced the screens. Her adventures have been documented in numerous newspapers worldwide, and she even received dedicated coverage on German television's ZDF program, Brilliant Creatures, on her 3rd birthday. An Animal Planet documentary titled Jessica the Hippo further solidified her status as a global sensation, captivating audiences with her remarkable story. Tony and Shirley Joubert have been featured in live interviews on radio stations in Sydney and Melbourne, Australia, where they shared their extraordinary bond with Jessica, the hippo, from her childhood to adulthood. Never did they imagine they would achieve fame, but thanks to Jessica, they find themselves at the center of numerous documentaries and media attention. Jessica has undoubtedly become the most famous and beloved animal in the world.